Man, I was just told by Fortune that I need to get a video out that's low effort and just can get us some quick views because of new clan selection. I just don't know what to do. If only there was an idea that has been overused and is super easy to just get out within like 5 minutes. I know. Let's go. There it is. Yes, a deck profile. Hello YouTube, this is Rotenks from TCG, and as you saw in intro, we're going to be doing a Stand Peony deck profile. Stand Peony is a pretty good deck in my opinion in Standard. It does a pretty good amount of things now, especially being able to be a 5 attack force deck, and it's also extremely cheap. You could probably build it for like 40 USD on TCG Play or something at the worst. I don't really know the prices that much, but base rarity is extremely cheap and affordable. I think the most expensive card in the deck is going to be getting Pad Minis, and that'll be like 20 to 25-ish I think. I'll probably put the prices up as I go through cards just to assist people more if they want to use this as an entry into Standard, even though it's an MD format soon, but who cares, it's still a fun format in my opinion. Anyway, let's just start with grade zeros. You have the starter, 4 heals of course, and then you have 6 crit, because in this deck you do want to kind of have more draws, so you run 2 normal draws and then 4 draw PGs. The reason why you do this is because, unlike Arsha, you're not going for that all-in, I want to kill you on the first 2 grade 3 turns attitude. You're going for the, I want to try and grind out your hand so you will lose eventually. And you just go force 2 if you want to add in more pressure, or you can just go force 1 to create a scaling amount of pressure. Either way, you can still, if you can live like 2 turns, should be able to win on that 3rd turn. So yeah, nothing else to really talk about there. You know, grade 0 lineup, that's all pretty cheap now, thanks to the clan selection, because PGs took a very deep price. Anyway, next we have 4 Stand Peony and 4 Arborist. The reason why we run 4 Arborist is because Arborist, not only is he a cheap, affordable card that most people should be able to get, he's about $2 in TCG if I remember correctly at the time of this recording, but also he's just a alright first ride if you have to ride him, and he just makes a lot more tokens so you can spam board and skip out on things like Sylvia, which in my opinion, yes, Sylvia is good, but there are better options for a deck like this, such as Arborist, because the issue with this deck is your initial swings before your Stand Peony attack will be kinda weak, especially if you go force 2. So Arborist being able to become a 23k base just by having 5 rear guards after his skill is activated, very nice. And also the fact that he's able to create a defensive turn for your first grade 3 ride if you have to end up riding him, makes it so you can try and dig into a Stand Peony faster, which is kind of what you want. And Stand Peony is not really much to talk about there, she's just reverse Katrina on attack. You kill 4 rear guards, call 4 tokens, give them 10k and yourself 10k if the opponent's grade 3 is, if the opponent's vanguard's grade 3 or greater, so you know, very good. There's nothing else to really say about that. Just a very good grade 3 lineup. And now we'll go to the grade 2s. Grade 1's really not that important. So first we have 4 Maiden of Stand Peony. This is just one of my favorite cards they released. It does everything you want in a Neon card in my opinion. You get to essentially filter it, and you don't lose out on that plan token because you call it from hand, call over the plan token, draw it, and you get 5k. It's filtering it yourself, which is very nice. Unfortunately it's from hand, so it doesn't really have any premium synergy. If it did, or if it had Cecilia synergy, oh my fucking god, that'd be nutty. But it doesn't, it's just a good 50k beat stick, and if you call grade 1 behind it, it's gonna, you know, hit 23k, which isn't that good, but force 1, 33k, that's alright I guess. So that's like, you know, number generator, who doesn't like that. And then we have 4 Enalma. She is essentially Sylvia with a cost, but she also gets you a draw. I would rate it to the grade 2 Megatu more, where, you know, they both do on-place draw and become 15k essentially, because you call plan token, call behind, swing for 15k. And she does have a second ability which probably will rarely if ever come in, which is when you have a rear guard the same as Vanguard, all your units get boost. so it means you can boost with all your grade 2s or something like that. I really don't see that coming up, because I just don't see like the value of it anyway, of like aiming for that. Just have the grade 1s and the tokens in the back row, because the tokens should be getting about 10k regardless, so that's still a good amount of a number, and you just have good beat sticks in the front. Then we have just really 5 tech slots. We have 3 Sunlight Garden Guide. I run her because I still cannot stop being a fucking boomer of, back in my day of Wave 1 Neonectar, she made my entire field, and she still does, which is why she's good. And then we have 2 L'Oreal, because there's a lot of Protect and Excel decks. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but there's a lot of them, and just being able to hit 17, 27, 37k column, very fucking nice. It forces that extra 5k guard just by having an entire field. It gets the 2k buff on both turns, meaning if they want to hit it, they're going to need a boost, or they need to just have a decently sized rear guard hit into it. And I see that as a win if they have to swing at your rear guard, which you're just going to replace anyway because this is the Neonectar. And it shouldn't even that's only for the grade 2 turn. Like after the grade 2 turn, you shouldn't be having rear guards for them to hit outside of tokens. Anyway, continuing on, we have the free Pad Mini, as I said. Pad Mini is just, consistency, because again, you really want Maiden of Stand Peony, so just being able to get that like extra chance to get her, extremely nice. You can also use it to get Arboros and just have a better powerful turn, which also is extremely nice and very, very fun. And then she's a 13k beat stick if you have 2 or more tokens, so that's pretty easy to get in this deck. Then we have 4 Maiden of Flower Carpet. I run her 4 because I think and I run her 4 and run no Sweet Berry, by the way. The reason why is because I think that just having all these token gens in the grade 2 and the grade 3 lineup means that I can afford to run less amount of grade 1s that do the job to just have more survivability, consistency, and beat up the tokens more. And Flower Carpet does that. At the end of the turn, you can kill 2 tokens to just bounce yourself to hand. It's sadly at once per turn, so you can't just kill 4 tokens to bounce 2. I fucking wish it was. And also, if you don't use it to even guard or to use it as PG fodder, you can just call it down, make the token, and instead of having the 10k column that would have been there before, it's now 13k, and you can just do the same thing over and over again, which is why I like her, because she recurs her own costs for the bounce ability. And then the last 6 grade 1s I run are just, your usual power buffers. You have free Craig. I just really love Craig in a set. Sure, the downside of him is you're going to be wanting to have him behind the Vanguard, meaning the Vanguard's getting a 30k power, meaning it's a pretty easy column to guard, but it does not ignore the fact that it's making your side columns 35 to 45 depending on how many forces there are. And that's only filling 1 Force 1 or a Force 2, so it's just very nice to have because it makes 25 or higher guards. And we have Dream Shower because Dream Shower will make the earlier swings go from the 10 to 20k it may have, or maybe the 10 to 15 to 25k to, a 35 or 45, it just depends how many force, and if you have Craig in the back, she can make the numbers extremely big, and I really love it about it. And that's really all there is for the deck list. However, I will go into more depth about some of the options that people do seem to be running. Just give me a second. Alright, we're now back with all the other options I was going to talk about. So, we'll start with the grade 3s first. I have seen a lot of deck lists use NAs and Arsha, and in my opinion, I would say the only viable options out of either of these two would be Arsha. The only reason why I don't is because it costs a CB, and I already have 3 units using CB with no counter charging. So I think that's already hitting the limit of what I should really allow to do such a thing. And it's also just doing the same job as Arboros, as being a decent grade 3 to ride for the first turn and try and get out of ASAP, and also just being the grade 3 to call down for a single swing and die. People are running NAs. In my opinion, I really do not like NAs as a card. Sure, she gets power for every time you place down a rear guard, however, that means you're going to have to be placing down more and more rear guards to just get her to a decent threshold or using her own skill, which again interferes with the other options I run. And also it's just, you're getting a big column, sure, but unless you're going Force 2, you're not going to benefit of it. And if you're running her, you're probably not going to benefit of other cards either, like Nauma or what's her name? Dream Shower, or even some of the other cards that I do see running in the same deck list, like Emerzel or Fruit Basket, or even Arsha. It's just, she, I think, is just too expensive what people are trying to do, and I see no value in her. And then next, I mean, but she is a, a cheap option still, so if you want to run her, go ahead. Her art is very beautiful as well, so always keep that in mind. And next we have the grade 2s, so we have Maiden of Stand, which are, I think I butchered that name, but I don't think you can run it in this deck, because here's the thing about it. You run it in this deck, you're going to be giving the Vanguard maybe 2 crit swing and then losing it straight after, but you're going to be retiring a token, having to call another card, making it so you're not really getting any advantage of it. And I think the best part of this deck is when you're swinging for rearguard, you're probably only going to have 1 force. Pretend that's the force. So pretend that's the force 2, and you're just going to be swinging with 1 column. Why would you want to lose out on a token there and have to sack 4 others? Just, my opinion, that's why I don't really like her, and I don't think giving the Vanguard the extra crit is what the deck needs. What the deck needs is like more threatening rearguards, and I would say that that's her job, to give the rearguard a 2 crit swing, but maybe even 3 crit if it has a force 2 on it. I don't really think you should be calling in a column with force 2 on anyway, but that's just my opinion on why I wouldn't run her. And also the fact that she's a fake advantage, since you're going to be needed to call a card down anyway to recur the lost token. We have Sylvia. The reason why I don't run it is because I think just Nauma does a better job, and there's no need for so many token generators in this deck. With my grade 3s, I think 1 of my grade 2s and 2 of my grade 1s or some shit like that do it. There's like a fair amount of token generation in the deck, so I just simply don't believe I need the Sylvia. And also it's for a price thing, so I can clickbait this video and say, hey, this is a cheap competitive deck, buy it. But yeah, she's also a valid option. Next we have Fernie. I just don't like her because she's restricted grade 3 or greater, meaning you can't put down a rush early turn, and I just think that makes it so bad. Like, if it was just on place, make a token, if your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, give it 5k, sure, I would probably run it then, because it's just being a token generator with an extra buff to my Vanguard if I'm at grade 3. So I would run it in that case, but it does not, and it needs the Vanguard to be a grade 3, so it's a dead card until turn 3 to 4, and I just don't deal with that. Next I have Emerzel. Emerzel was a card I was running before, and I really do like it. It's a good early rush engine, as it proved to be in Wave 1 Neonectar, and it continued to be in, Katrina and that. Just, it's such a good card. It also is what I would say is one of the only actual value cards in the deck, because you do get to draw, and if you were to run it, I would probably then say you would take out Fallvine for it, because they do the same job really. Except Erenzel can also make the token bigger, so you can just call over Erenzel or something else, but I don't see why you would do that. You're just losing out on the draw Erenzel gave you. And then we'll just talk about the grade 1s quickly. Sweetberry, as I said before, don't see use in it. I have enough token generators as is, and there's no need for Soul, because there's only 1 card that Soul Blast in the deck. And I just think Flower Carpet does a better job than what Sweetberry does, because the 13k when your Vanguard's grade 3, I don't see as relevant. So I just use the Flower Carpet to just bounce the hand and call it a turn there. No need for that 30k buff. When that 30k buff's gonna die, I'm just gonna have a bigger rearguard for it to boost. And even then, I don't think that it will be living before my Vanguard swing on turn 3. I'll be discarding it and then bouncing it if I need for a last ditch effort. And then we have Fruit Basket. I do like Fruit Basket as a card. I think Fruit Basket is one of the better Neonectar grade 1s we've gotten since Wave 1, and he has proven himself time and time again. Just making 10k tokens is pretty nice, but I just don't think, once again, you need it. You have enough token generators as is, and if you want to make 10k tokens, you have Crave and Dream Shower. These do what Fruit Basket do, but more globally, because this will give all 4 tokens on field I may have to 10k buff, And Craig's gonna give the tokens before and after my Vanguard swings 5k. And I just think that that makes him a lot better than Fruit Basket, because they're also pretty costless. Sure, CB1 is a bit expensive, but you're not planning to use her and Nauma and Stand Peony so many times in a row to where you have no CV. You're planning to use like Nauma once, Dream Shower once, and Stand Peony how many times you need. And then Mindless is, you know, just the crit sentinel. People do run the crit sentinel to just guard with easier, but I don't see the use in a crit sentinel in this deck because you're not aiming to go for the kill as fast. You're aiming to draw and try and stabilize yourself while damaging your opponent's hand, and eventually just having big enough columns to where the opponent can only cut 2 or 3 of the 5 attacks. So that's why I'm don't see you using it. But anyway, that is all for today's video. I do hope you enjoyed the Stand Peony deck list, and maybe you do find success with it, and maybe you have your own way of playing it. That's not up to me to judge, but this is just my guide of how to like build it and all, and for a cheap budget as well. Bye bye.